Viewers, I have to tell you, Princess Amoreena has been carried away by the evil offspring of Darklarza the Dragon Master. Geraden, the Duke of Menlary, needs your help to defeat the hideous legions of the undead to secure the instruments of Darklarza's demise. And all of this and more can be yours in Castle of Dragon from Seta in 1990. This is an arcade port, a rare arcade port to the NES. Usually arcade ports ended up on the Super Nintendo, which, had this game been released a year, possibly 2 years later, could have been on the Super Nintendo and would have been much better. This was known as Dragon Unit in Japan, which is kind of dirty when you think about it. As a side-scrolling game, platformer action kind of thing, it's a pretty obscure game. The arcade game, that is, being the more obscure one. The game for the arcade was under the same name, produced by Athena, and the gameplay and graphics were significantly modified to fit into the NES. So basically, Dragon Master Darklarza has been terrorizing the kingdom for numerous years. The king was forced into exile by this threat. He retreated with the bravest knight in the kingdom. This knight, named Geraden, must hold his fort, I guess. Darklarza stages an attack on the king's fortress, breaks in, and manages to abduct the royal princess. And as you saw from the opening, what an attack it was. Bravely facing such threats as the Grabbers in the aptly named Molesty Forest, treacherous jumps, and fairies which may or may not give him superpowers, Geraden must wildly swing his sword at any in his path. Does he have what it takes to defeat the Dragon Lord, Darklarza? Who knows? I haven't played the arcade game. I would like to, because the NES game ranks about a 5 out of 10. But it's not, it just doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? It's one of those games that if the feel was a little better, maybe if the sprites were a little smaller, maybe if it was, I hate to say it, but maybe if it was a little more cartoony, could have been really good. You take a look at a game like Swordmaster, which is very similar to this, or a game like Astyanax, which is very similar to this. Those games are better than this game, but not by much. This game has a lot of potential. You can switch weapons when you pick them up. You have your standard sword. You've got a Legend of Zelda style laser sword shoot wave thingy. You've got daggers, which you can throw an infinite number of. You've got a mace, ball and chain kind of thing, which is just freaking awesome in this game because you take contact damage like nobody's business, and the mace will actually knock back the monsters who are trying to bump into you. Could have been really a good game. It seems relatively short. I've never finished it, but I have played it several times. It falls short because of the limitations of the NES. It's not the game's fault. It's not very good. It's the way they had to cram everything into the NES cartridge to make it work on the NES. Because had this been released 2-3 years later, could have been phenomenal. I mean, this could have been King of Dragons E. This could have been Knights of the Round E. This could have been that other game that's a lot like this E. Could have even, not that it would be as good as, but it could have been close to being what Hagane was. But, you know, didn't happen. So I'm going to have to do some digging around and see if I can find a ROM of the arcade version. Oh no, I said the bad word. But if I can track one down, expect a Let's Play of it. This has a lot of potential, and I'm hoping that it reaches that potential in the arcade, and that was why they decided to put it on a home console.